It's raining EVs in India, and with us we have the latest contender in the form of the Mahindra BE6C, as Mahindra wants to call it. Let's take a quick tour on how are the exteriors, the interiors, the way it drives, and everything else that you want to know. And by the end of this video, you will be able to decide if this vehicle is for you or not. And for starters, the starting price of this car is from 18.9 lakh rupees ex-showroom. So speaking of the design looks very futuristic. It's something that people in India haven't seen before, and a lot of people yesterday when we posted the reel said that this doesn't look like a production car, this looks more like a prototype. That's how advanced the design is. You have very sharp creases here. There's a front spoiler, there's a front LED headlamp, you also get LED DRLs in the car, and this looks really futuristic compared to any other EVs that we have seen. And cars like the Tata Curve EV, which were recently launched, already feel very dated in terms of what the age has to offer. And there are proper air vents for the air to channelize from there, and there are front parking sensors and 5 cameras around the car to give you the 360 surround view in this car. To the side of the car, first thing that you realize is the coupe like design is very evident. You have 20-inch aero alloys, not your normal alloys. So these alloy wheels help in channeling the air better through the car, which reduces drag and increases the aerodynamic efficiency of the car. You have flush-type door handles, which again help in increasing the aerodynamic efficiency of the car, thereby giving you a better range for the electric charge. You have turn indicators on the side ORVMs there. You get a massive 207mm of ground clearance, which means that you are not going to scrape the underbelly of the car in most of the Indian driving conditions. And then you have this coupe-like design, and this is how you'll have to access the door of the car. Moving to the rear of the car, you get a crazy design, and I really love the way this car looks from behind, and it gets serious inspirations from the Lamborghini Urus. It's not me, a lot of people in the comment section said that. You have two different spoilers here, one there and one this, and since this is a coupe, you don't exactly need a rear wiper, and you will be doing away with the rear wiper in this particular car. You have rear parking camera with couple of parking sensors, and also there is a silver treatment given, not exactly exhaust of course, but there's a silver treatment given just to make this car look a lot more sporty. But what's nicer is the moment you have the key in your pocket and do this, the boot actually goes up and you'll be greeted with a proper 455 liters of boot space. Alternatively, you can access the boot by just tapping once, which is 455 liters of boot space. Just press this again to close the boot. So this is about 4.3 meters in length and has a wheelbase of around 2.8 meters. There is no Mahindra logo written anywhere on the car, and Mahindra is going to have new logo here on for their EV portfolio. And of course, since you don't have to carry an internal combustion engine here in the front, you will be greeted with 45 liters of frunk storage space in this particular car. You're going to get two different battery options in the car, 59 kilowatt hour and 79 kilowatt hour. And speaking of the 79 kilowatt hour specs of the battery, it's going to produce 210 kilowatts and 380 newton meters of torque right there. And the charging time is very interesting. The car can be charged from 20 to 80% in just 20 minutes using the 175 kilowatt DC fast charger. Speaking of the range, Mahindra says that this has a claimed range of 682 kilometers, but realistically we expect that is going to be around 500 kilometers in real world conditions. Again, we are yet to test it out, so you'll have to stay tuned for the range test to find out the true range of this car. And let's quickly get inside the car. Oh, did you just realize that the doors open up as wide as 90 degrees? I think Mahindra is really hell-bent on making sure that they have a very tough competition for Tata Motors right now. So once you step inside the car, you will realize that in case you are sitting low, getting up to the perfect driving position is not going to be difficult at all, because you have a very healthy 6-way electronically adjustable seats with 2 memory functions, so that you can adjust the memory functions accordingly. And next time when you want to sit inside the car, it's going to be very easy for you to get inside. So first things first, we'll have to place the key fob here. And once you place the key fob here, it's a magnetic pad where the key fob is going to comfortably reside there. And you have two 12.3-inch displays here. There are tons of controls which I'll get into shortly, but the attention here really is taken by the steering wheel, which seems to be inspired from PS5, and it really feels like you're playing a PS5 when you're driving the car. The handling is nice, which we're going to talk about later, but the steering wheel really deserves all the attention. There's an illumination here, there are paddle shifters on the steering wheel as well. 2 MagSafe screens like I mentioned earlier, you have auto dimming RVM, and you also have this hidden camera because you can't even see the camera properly, and this is going to record everything what's happening inside the car. And of course both you have advantages and disadvantages here, but the nice part is, say in case you are driving the car and in case you are feeling sleepy, if you try to doze off, the camera is going to warn you that I'm monitoring you, I've seen that you're sleepy, please wake up and drive the car with full attention, or just take a pit stop and have a break or sleep and then resume driving the car. And then you have this massive finish here. The quality of the car, the premiumness, the materials, everything looks very sturdy and nice. It's not that you would expect it, there's some cost cutting going on, nothing like that. ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है. मतलब of course there are some places like this button for example feels very flimsy, trust me on that. But apart from that, a lot of places in the cabin look really nice. You have the Porsche inspired AC vents here in the front, and you also have this Porsche inspired another thing in the car, that is you hold in the strap to pull the door to shut the door, which is again very cool. So not one, but you have two wireless chargers. Technology is just getting crazy and crazy in cars. That's why Mahindra thought that सबके पास है wireless charger. इसलिए just to differentiate ourselves, we're going to offer two wireless chargers in this car. That's why I have two wireless chargers with a cup holder, and of course you have electronic parking brake. There's a nice start stop button, and this is the aircraft inspired drive mode selector. Basically जैसा कि जो aircraft inspired होता है throttle, exactly the similar way you have this drive mode selector, which is again aircraft inspired. You have this rotary dial, which seems that it's different from the XV7W, but the quality of this could have been lot better. So you have three different drive modes. You have everyday mode, normal, and then you have the range mode, which is going to be very conservative so that you get most of the most range in the car. And then you have the race mode, where the car sprints to 100 km in just 6.7 seconds, which is going to be absolutely phenomenal. And then you have the front center armrest, and thankfully somebody has left us apple so that you can eat nicely. And then these are not exactly leather seats, these are slightly leatherette seats, but also a lot of recycled materials have been used in a certain part of the seat, which makes you kind of not just sustainable, but the seats are also comfortable. Now what's interesting is this crazy thing in this car, that is the massive infinity skyroof. The moment you open this, you'll see that you will be greeted with a massive infinity skyroof in the car, and you can actually see some patterns in it. That is because this sunroof glows. The sunroof actually glows, not just when you touch it, but either ways at night the sunroof glows, and this makes the sunroof very distinct. And yes, not to forget, you get wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, which is kind of expected in this car, but yes, you get a proper full-size package. It's not that Mahindra has gone crazy with space issues or something. You have adequate space in the car. There's a decent glove box as well. Before you get inside the rear seat of the car, first thing is, since this is a coupe-like design, you'll have certain expectations कि मतलब space बहुत ज़्यादा होने वाली है नहीं. Actually, it's more or less the same. The legroom is slightly limited. Headroom is going to be a slight squeeze for taller people. But that said, the rear seats are not very uncomfortable or something. You can definitely manage. Mahindra is very proud to say that you get 16 speaker Harman Kardon music system with 15 channel amplifier and a subwoofer. Trust me on this. The music system in this particular car is bang on 9.5 out of 10. This is probably the best I've seen for any car costing less than a crore. I mean, I have some personal favorites like the Lexus RCF, the Volvo S90 and all, which are in a different league altogether in terms of the price bracket and the price that they command. But if you're looking at mainstream cars, there is no competition. Take that in writing from me. When it comes to the mass market cars which offer such a phenomenal music system, this one really steals the show there. You have this very unique headrest for the front seats also, not to forget. And then speaking of the rear elements, you have this rear AC vents. Firstly, आपको पता नहीं चलेगा कि rear AC vents क्या है, because it's very different. The design, everything is made very different. No transmission tunnel, no floor hump, nothing. So 3 people can be a slight squeeze, but 2 people should be more than comfortable. You have rear center armrest with 2 cup holders. Honestly, I thought that Mahindra might end up offering one wireless charger here, but that's not the case. No problem at all. But that said, this seats actually do not recline any further behind, but they're decently comfortable, no problem whatsoever. And also another crazy thing is, since space utilization is going to be slightly challenging here, Mahindra told that let's do one thing, let's insert the chargers inside the seats, and that's why I have Type-C chargers integrated into the front seats directly, so that the rear occupants can use it from here. And for the front people, like I mentioned, you get 2 wireless chargers. You also get Type-C charger, no USB charger or 12-volt charger in this particular car. Also, Mahindra has provided a small provision here where you can kind of mount your phone, iPad or whatever, and you can use it while you're on the move. And Mahindra is very stringent with safety, we all know that, and that's why this car gets 7 airbags with host of other safety options that you can kind of think of, including ABS, electronic stability control and whatnot. And what's nicer is, Mahindra is very confident that this car might get 5 stars in the global NCAP safety rating. So the battery specs are, this is a 79 kWh battery, and this produces 210 kilowatts and 380 Newton meters of torque, and the 0 to 100 sprint is in just 6.7 seconds, making it fantastic in terms of the acceleration figures, no matter, no doubt whatsoever. And the braking power is going to come from all 4 disc brakes. Now a special mention goes out to the steering wheel, because Mahindra was very confident yesterday in the presentation. The steering wheel is amazing, the steering wheel is fantastic and all that, and I think that's actually kind of translated here, because the steering is very effortless, and Mahindra says that this is the most effortless steering in the segment. And you have paddle shifters here just in case you want to enhance your driving experience, so that the paddle shifters are definitely going to come handy. Speaking of the visibility from the driver's seat. Yesterday Mahindra said that this also gets the best in class driving experience in terms of the field of view from the driver's seat, and I think I can agree to it, but I'm not very comfortable in terms of the extremely high driving position, because you'll have to put your seat all the way up for you to kind of try to see the bonnet. And just to demonstrate the easiness of this steering wheel, I'm just taking a sharp U-turn here, and I'm just taking a reverse, and it's going to be very easy for the car. And you can see, as you can see, this is the reverse camera of the car, the clarity of which is pretty decent, nothing great to write about or something. You also have 3D view for the reverse, so that you can just see what are the obstacles around you, just in case you want to do it. And once you slot into the drive mode, you will realize that this car is going to be super duper fun to drive, as long as you are completely okay with driving EVs. Like I mentioned, there are different driving modes, and once you slot into the race mode, it's a different ball game altogether. And Mahindra said that they have done away with any kind of braking system that were there, and they have special brakes for this car. You get 4 disc brakes, which perform really optimum compared to any other brakes out there, and these are specifically EV specific brakes. So the overall performance is very nice. Since this is an EV, you of course have instantaneous torque, which kicks in right from the word go, and the feel that you get, the way the car pushes, is absolutely unmatched. And I think this is going to set a new benchmark when it comes to driving performance in EVs. So let us know what you feel about this new EV from Mahindra, which is completely loaded with all the things possible. You have excellent feature list, name it, you have it, not just in this segment but even in the luxury segment. The cars even in the luxury segment do not have features that this car has. You have crazy amount of tech. The kind of tech that this car possesses right now is absolutely unmatched. The styling is phenomenal. People went gaga over the styling and mentioned that why don't Mahindra offer this particular car in petrol or diesel? Why is it just that in EV avatar you will get this car? And speaking of a couple of things which could be better, there are some fit and finish issues, very few. Like for example, the rotary knob on the center, it could have been much better, and the space is slightly cramped, but you will be ready for it in case you want a coupe like design. Otherwise, you also have the otherwise you also have the XEV90, which offers slightly more space compared to this car, especially in the rear. So let us know what you feel about the EV ecosystem in India in the comment section below. Signing off and see you soon in another video.